Hey guys, I've got a new DVD out called Unfettered Yammering, where I lay down commentary tracks for select videos from throughout the 6 years I've foolishly squandered making YouTube videos instead of having a life. Please buy it. It's pretty nifty. Thank you.
The Amazing Atheist.
What are your thoughts on the law of attraction, as in told by like in the book The Secret by Rhonda Burns, and stuff like that? You know, the law of attraction, the whole thoughts become things, things like that. I think that's something I would like to actually hear from you, your perspective on the whole thing.
I think that laws of attraction shit is kind of like consolation for the lazy. Yeah, I don't want to have to actually do anything towards my goal. I just want to fill myself with desire and want and just think about it all the time and just command the universe to kind of bring my goal to me so that I don't have to go to it. The brain is understood to some extent now. I mean, we don't fully understand what's going on here. We don't understand how the mind works completely, but we kind of know that it's a physical process. We know that it's chemicals and electric signals and, you know, neurons firing and all that stuff. We know that that's going on. It's a bunch of fucking physical shit, gears turning, all that. It's happening in here. There's nothing about a thought that goes out into the world and affects any sort of specific change. We don't know of any way that happens. Okay? That would be magical. There's nothing that we've ever seen or documented that would lead us to believe that that's true. And I mean, you know, just think about the overwhelming desire and want that exists in every Ethiopian or every starving African or any other fucking impoverished person. They want food. They want money. They want to live more comfortably than they do now. You know, and they want it. Every second of every day, they want that shit. They're not getting it just because they want it. It's not just coming to them. If that doesn't, like, you know, the fucking starving Ethiopian kid just sitting there with his fucking distended belly and his ribs and his malnourished fucking sunken in eyes and shit, if that kid can't get a fucking sandwich just by wanting it, then the laws of attraction are bullshit and everything in The Secret is a goddamn lie.
Hi, TJ. My question is, do you think that motion picture as an art form has been decreasing for a while, or do you go with the camp that says, I think there's always been, you know, bad and good movies, now is no different? So, thanks.
I'm definitely in that latter camp. I mean, you know, I've seen plenty of movies from, you know, the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s that were just goddamn lousy. But they're kind of lost to time for the most part. I mean, you know, no one immortalizes a piece of shit unless it's just so awful that you preserve it just for that sake. You know, the mediocre stuff isn't really preserved. We don't go out of our way to make sure that, you know, is brought to the next generation. Like, hey, check out this mediocre, banal drivel. Just check that out, man. You gotta see it. It's not really good, it's not really bad, it just kinda is. Yeah, it was made in 1960. Check it out. No one does that. You know, the films that you see from the past that you enjoy so much, that's had the benefit of standing the test of time. Those are the movies that were truly fucking great. And they stood the test of time, and you know, people are still talking about them today because they were so fucking good. So when you look back at all these classics, you say to yourself, wow, look at how amazing movies used to be. No, those are the creme de la creme for their time, okay? To base your opinion of film in the past on just the classics is stupid because it's a biased sample. If you go back and just pick like 10 random movies from, say, like 1957 or something, chances are most of them are going to be mediocre. In fact, all of them are probably going to be mediocre if they're selected at absolute random. just like most of the shit you see today is going to be mediocre. The thing about today's movie industry as opposed to the movie industry in the past is the movie industry in the past was a little bit more willing to spend money on original stories and concepts. Nowadays, Hollywood kind of wants a built-in audience. And I think a lot of that has to do with where special effects have gotten. Because it used to be, if you poured a bunch of money into special effects, you could have like a really good-looking movie. And that alone would get people to show up. But now, even shitty movies look good. It's really easy to have a really good-looking movie now. So they have to have something else to get you in there. And, no one really shows up to watch the, A-list actors anymore. The only thing that gets people in there is, hey, I read this book, or, hey, this is an established character. Like, yeah, I'm going to see it because it's Spider-Man, or it's Batman, or it's something safe. It's a safe bet. I know this movie will probably be good because I've liked other shit that involve this character, or this writer, or this person, or whatever. So that's why Hollywood doesn't take as much risk anymore, I think.
Hey TJ, I just want to ask you, how are you and Cody? Is he filming your vids again? And my second question is there going to be another hate week? Because that would be awesome. Thanks.
No, Cody is not filming my vids again. Cody was killed in a house fire and his remains were eaten by velociraptors, so he is dead. But as for Hate Week, the strange thing about Hate Week is that everyone hated Hate Week at the time, but it's like one of the most requested things on my channel now. Like, I remember when I was doing Hate Week, everyone was just like, fuck Hate Week! We hate Hate Week! It's a piece of shit! These videos suck fucking ass! And now everyone's like, Hate Week! Bring back Hate Week! Do Hate Week again! We love Hate Week! You motherfuckers are bipolar as fuck, okay? There's not going to be another Hate Week because fuck you.
TJ, my dad doesn't believe in gay marriage, but he does think they should have gay civil unions. He says that gay marriage taints the sacrament of holy matrimony, being he's a Christian. What do you think of this? And also, I am a brony. What do you think of the show My Little Pony Friendship is Magic? Thanks.
Well, presuming your dad's an American, his argument is shit. Or, either that or he doesn't believe in, the First Amendment. Because his argument against gay marriage is entirely religious, and it says in the First Amendment, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion, so he's basically respecting an establishment of religion. He's saying that his religious convictions trump everyone else's, and that they should be law, they should be mandated, which is bullshit. Okay? That's not how it works. Marriage is two different institutions in America is another thing. You have to realize this. Okay, it's a religious institution and it's a legal institution. There are, with the government, it's a legal institution. They have these, things that these benefits they give you, tax credits, and hospital visitation, and some other stuff that death benefits, all that shit. They got all these little legal fucking perks and everything, so they give that to you, and that's the legal institution of marriage. And then there's the religious institution of marriage. Now, gay people can all already get married, from the religious standpoint. Like if a church decides that they're going to conduct same-sex weddings, they're free to do so. They just don't have any legal force behind them in most states because, in most states, gay marriage is the government institution of marriage is not legal. So I mean, the religious people have already lost. That's what I'm saying. They've already lost because there's nothing against a church having a gay wedding. There's nothing against that whatsoever. So they've already lost the religion front. What we're talking about now is legal marriage. Government-recognized marriage with all of the benefits that entails. So to make a religious argument against that is absolutely a non sequitur. It makes no fucking sense, and your dad is a fucking idiot. Oh, and I hate that fucking show.
TJ, I guess my question to you is, I miss your old video formats. Back in the day when you interviewed Shirley Phelps Roper, you seemed to have an entirely different type of format to your channel. You seemed to actually speak to the camera as though you were speaking to another person. It seemed a little bit more genuine and a little bit more real and down to earth. Now it seems like you're kind of putting on a show. You're kind of appealing to the internet masses. You have this kind of Philip DeFranco thing that's developed in the past few years. I still enjoy your channel, but I really feel like this is kind of taken away from the genuineness that is The Amazing Atheist. Is there a reason for this? Has your show changed? Have you been trying to change your show? I'm really curious as to what's going on with all this.
My philosophy when it comes to making YouTube videos is I make the videos that I think I would want to watch if I were in the audience. Because I'm the only barometer that I can totally understand. I'm the only person that I know for a fact will enjoy this specific thing. I can't make videos for anyone but me. And it's not because I think that my opinion is higher or better. It's just because I know my opinion better than I can ever know anyone else's. So whatever I do, it always reflects my desire to make my videos more what I want them to be. Because I just assume that if they're what I want them to be, then other people who are like me, presuming that such people exist, will also like them. Or even people who are just similar to me will find something that they like in them. So that's what I do. I mean, if you just talk about things getting more polished as time goes on, it's just because I'm getting better at it. Maybe there is a certain charm to me stumbling and, mumbling and talking to the camera like it's just some other person sitting across from me, and maybe there's some people that like that, and maybe a lot of people say they like that. But at the end of the day, it seems like you get a lot bigger of a response and a lot more people listen to you if you present yourself in a particular manner. And that's nothing I consciously decided to do. It's not like I sat down one day and said, all right, I need to stop treating this way and start treating it that way. It's just a natural process. It's just the evolution of a thing. It's like if you go back and read any comic strip, you'll notice that the characters were always once drawn differently. Like if you look at a character at the beginning of any comic strip's run, it's not how the character is being drawn towards the later part of the run, because it just changes. It changes stylistically. You start learning how to take certain shortcuts, and you start noticing little mistakes and flaws and things you don't like about the way you're doing things, and subconsciously your mind starts making corrections, and then occasionally you make a few conscious adjustments here and there, and before you know it, what you have is something different than what you had. And if I were to make the mistake of trying to recreate those older videos, if I decided consciously, like, I'm going to make stuff more like that, then that would be a contrivance. That would be a performance. And it would be completely unconvincing. I can't decide to be what I was. I can only be what I am.
Hello, my question for you is, what's your opinion on America's imperialistic past and kind of present with Afghanistan and like the Spanish-American War and the Philippines? Like, do you think it's always going to be like that? Do you think it's always going to be like that in the future? Or do you think we may evolve past such, I guess, brutal things? And I got another question. Do you think the music industry is salvageable and, like able to survive piracy and such?
I think that imperialism is a little bit antiquated. It's kind of been replaced by globalism and, corporate hegemony and all that bullshit. So, we really don't need to go and be like, we rule this land now, and plant our flag in the soil. Now, of course, the U.S. still does that, and other countries still do that, but it's becoming more and more passé. It's not really how you apply pressure to the pressure points anymore. It's not how you get other countries to beckon to you. It's more done with economics and subtle manipulation of the system now. It's not so blatant and in your face. So failing some sort of huge technological regression where we're all of a sudden thrust back into a more primitive state, I think that imperialism is a thing of the past for the most part. As for your music industry question, I don't know if the music industry can survive or not. I don't think the music industry should be an industry. Music is art. Art, you know, it shouldn't be commoditized to the extent that the music industry tried to do it. It's not expensive to make music anymore. It's still expensive to make, you know, movies or video games, which is why there are huge industries, and there need to be. But you don't really need a music industry anymore because it's gotten so easy for artists to just make it and release it themselves. There's a distribution system in the internet, and it's relatively cheap to build a studio now, or at least it's relatively cheap to build a decent studio, maybe not a great one, but musicians can create quality product and release it to their audience all on their own without any sort of backing from a fucking giant corporation. And that's what's started to happen. A lot of bands don't even want to be signed anymore. So I don't think the music industry is going to survive, but even if it does, I really don't see what good it's doing anybody.
Hey TJ, just wondering whether you still would consider your fans as scumbags. If you don't, then why? If you do, then would you care to explain the term scumbag, as in your definition, again, for your newer fan base, or newer subscriber base? I don't know.
When I used to argue with the social Darwinist fringe of YouTube, they would often call me and other people in general subhumans. They would say, oh, you're the subhumans, which is most of humanity, and then there's the higher beings, which is us, these great social Darwinists, most of whom have difficulty with basic spelling and grammar, strangely enough. But yeah, it's interesting that it plays out like that. The reason I started calling myself a scumbag, and you know, I really don't do it too much anymore, but the reason I used to identify it is because, you know, it's kind of the way that I was made to feel when I was growing up, and I figured, you know, if people are going to treat me like this, then I'm going to take it and I'm going to run with it and I'm going to make it mine. And this has, you know, been a tool for people who've been oppressed for a while, the same way that black people took the word nigger and turned it into nigga, and you know, made it a term of endearment amongst friends and stuff like that. Basically a way of reclaiming a word. You know, no one ever actually called me a scumbag, but it was just a word that kind of felt apt for how I was treated, you know, during certain years of my life by outsiders who didn't really understand my perspective, didn't understand where I was coming from, didn't understand why I acted the way I do, didn't understand why I didn't want to participate with the group in the same way that other people did. So, I mean, it was almost me taking that disenfranchisement and feeling alone and depressed and saying, you know what, fuck you. If this is what I am to you, then I'm gonna become that, and I'm gonna use it to destroy you. So that was my mentality in adopting that term and applying it to myself and to a lesser extent to my audience.
If you could redesign the structure of your body, how would it be different?
I'd be like the Incredible Hulk, basically. I'd be the Incredible Hulk, but not green, because I don't dig the whole green thing. But I'd be the Incredible Hulk with, like, a giant cock. Also, I'd be, like, impervious to bullets and shit, like the Hulk is, you know? Just, I could take any amount of damage, and I'm just like, fuck you, I'm awesome. But I don't want to have that Hulk mentality of, like, smash. I still want to be myself. In fact, I'll make myself more intelligent, since the brain is also you know, part of the body. I can enhance that too. I want to be like the Incredible Hulk, but not green, with the intelligence of fucking Stephen Hawking and Albert Einstein combined. So yeah, that's me, motherfucker.